Yes, welcome back to the channel. Hope each and every single one of you are doing well. The Premier League title race continues into another game week. Arsenal keep on winning, but the question is, will Manchester City drop points? That is the question. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you do go down and drop a like on the video. We had 1,000 likes on yesterday's video, which is absolutely insane. If we could hit that on this video, that'd be great. And we are less than 100 subs now from 5,000. So the support is genuinely unreal. Yesterday, we saw Arsenal in complete cruise control, 3-0 against Bournemouth. Once again, clean sheets galore. David Raya practically is nailed on to win that Golden Glove if he hasn't already won it. And they looked very, very strong. Lots of pressure on the early kickoff. It was all about, it's all about at this stage, whether you're an Arsenal or a City fan, or you're looking in like me as a rival fan, the most important thing is getting the job done. The most important thing is having the points on the board. Manchester City going against Wolves in a game which, for me, I thought they'd slip up. And Erling Haaland scores 4 goals. I don't understand how you're supposed to stop that. Arsenal are doing absolutely everything they can. The numbers are very, very close now. Both have scored. There's 1 goal between them, but Arsenal have got the better defense and have conceded 28, where City have conceded 33. It goes into the very, very last game of the season for me. Arsenal have got a tough game against Manchester United next. And Manchester City have got Fulham away in the early kickoff, which also is a tough game. When you look at their individual fixtures, I think on paper, City have got the harder of the 3 because they've never won a Premier League game at my ground, Tottenham. Fulham away can be very, very unpredictable, and we've seen them take points off the big boys this season. And West Ham at home. Now, let's be honest. We all know deep down they are going to smash West Ham to pieces, right? But Fulham away and Tottenham away, listen, that if they're going to slip up, that is where they're going to do it. Arsenal look in absolute cruise control right now. I think they're going to go and quite easily put 3 or 4 goals past that Manchester United team. Now, people are going to be saying, Henry, it's Manchester United. I understand that. But this Arsenal team, at the moment, is an absolute joke. They're scoring more goals than anyone. They're conceding less goals than anyone. They are on absolutely unbelievable form, and everyone is firing on all cylinders. I look at it right now and think, on paper, where do I look at it in terms of Manchester United away and Everton at home? I think that's 6 points for Arsenal. This narrative that Arteta has to be sacked if Arsenal don't win the league, for me, is absolutely insane. You are competing with the best in the business right now in Pep Guardiola, and you are taking him until the 38th game of the season in order for him to win the title. Like, I don't understand. What more do you want to see? The only potential criticism you could give him is he hasn't won a trophy this season. But 2 games remaining for Arsenal, 3 games remaining for Manchester City. I still think Manchester City, at some point, they're going to have a wobble. Now, you look at their recent games, they haven't had a wobble since, I guess you could say, the last wobble they had was last calendar year. Since then, they have destroyed Villa, Palace, Luton, Wolves, Brighton, Forest. They're in an FA Cup final against Manchester United. They are in absolute elite form right now. But I still think there's a twist and a turn. I still think Manchester City could drop points, as well as Arsenal could easily drop points. Manchester United are the ultimate party poopers. They've got this kind of thing now where they have to, destroy things. They absolutely ruined Jurgen Klopp's FA Cup run, and they ruined Jurgen Klopp's Premier League season. Like, I look at it right now and think, if you're going to turn up and you're going to win the league title, you got to win all your remaining games. I just have this feeling Manchester City will slip up. I'm going to predict it. They're going to slip up against us. They've never scored a goal in our Premier League stadium. In our stadium in a Premier League game. They beat us in the FA Cup fair and square. They've never won a game in our stadium in the league. They've never scored a goal in our stadium in the league. And this is the sort of thing that Tottenham will do. We will lose to a team like Liverpool or Burnley and then go and beat Manchester City. This is what Tottenham have done for years and years and years. You've only got to look back to a few years ago. We beat Manchester City 3-2. The following week, we lost 1-0 to Burnley. You know, Tottenham have lost 3-0 to Fulham, but the following week before that, put 4 goals past Aston Villa. We're a very unpredictable team. Right now, we are in diabolical form and could be on the verge of losing 4 games on the bounce. But I look at it right now and think, you know, for Arsenal, it's about just doing what you can. And there's no shame in losing the league title by 1 point to Manchester City. Liverpool did that, you know. But I think there's twists and turns. I think Arsenal will beat Manchester United. I think they'll put 3 or 4 goals past Man United. They are in diabolical. They couldn't even beat Burnley at home. And Everton have already guaranteed their safety. I think Arsenal could quite easily put 3 or 4 goals past them. I look at Manchester City's games. I do think they will get over the line against Fulham. It's a very, very, difficult game. But in the last 3 games, Manchester City have scored 11 Premier League goals in the last 3 games, which is absolutely insane. Like, it's actually a joke. I look at Manchester City, though. There is no better team in the Premier League at getting over the line. So for me, it's all about them seeing what happens in the next few games. Arsenal keep doing their thing. Manchester City keep doing their thing. You got to remember, Manchester City have got an FA Cup final at the end of this month as well. So there will be one eye on that. But this team have been there, seen it, done it. But like I said, this narrative that Arteta, let's say in a hindsight, Man City win the league by a point. This narrative that Arteta should be sacked is absolutely obscene. It's insanity. The guy has been there 4 years. In 2 of those 4 years, he's got them in 2 title races. Like, I think it's absolutely insane. And for Manchester City, if they win the league again, that's 6 of the last 7 league titles they've won. That's 4 in a row. That's potentially another double this season. We're generally witnessing one of the most dominant teams in the Premier League era. But when all that's said and done, if Manchester City do get the 115 charges, if they are found guilty for whatever they've apparently done, then Arteta's got if Manchester City hypothetically were to get, say, a point deduction, in my opinion, Arsenal win the league next season. They've been, other than Manchester City, they've been the best team in the league the last 2 years. A lot of people would argue they've been better than Manchester City this season. They've lost, they've won 26, drawn 5, lost 5, scored 88, conceded 28, a goal difference of 60. Like, if you go back to Liverpool's 1920 Premier League title season, they had a goal difference of 52. If you go back to last year's Manchester City's treble winning season, they had a goal difference of 61, and there is still 2 games to play. Like, this Arsenal team genuinely look absolutely insane. But it's all about now. It's all about just doing what you can. If I was an Arsenal fan, looking at this, I would just be saying, focus on yourself. As much as you're watching every single minute of a Man City match, praying that they have a wobble for whatever reason, you also don't need to take the eye off your game, because if you do that, we've seen this before with title-winning teams. We've seen this before, but where they've taken their eyes off the prize, and unfortunately they have, for whatever reason, they've gone on and lost. So I look at it right now and think, look, just do what you can, win your games, and see where you end up. Like this, there's a lot of football to play. Man City have still got 3 games in the league and have still got an FA Cup final to play. Arsenal have still got two finals. I'm calling them finals. Both teams have got 3 and 2 finals. It's going to be a massive, massive twist and turn. But I am predicting that Manchester City will somehow slip up against Spurs. They always do. History will repeat itself. If that happens, though, the goal difference is not that far away. If Manchester City hypothetically score 5 against West Ham, which we know they could, right? And they hypothetically score 3 or 4 against Fulham, the goal difference could be maybe 1 or 2 goals going into it. into the very last season if that scenario of Manchester City slipping up against Tottenham does actually play out. Look, plenty of football to play. We're gonna be there for it. We are 103 subscribers away from 5K. So make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. I am